NFL Week 1 is officially in the books. You're watching Verts. My name is Harrison Graham. The 49ers hammer the Jets on Monday Night Football 32-13. Full reaction, thoughts on Aaron Rodgers, what's going on with the Jets defense. We're going to dive into all of it here on tonight's show. 32-19. They scored a garbage time touchdown with Tyrod Taylor in the last minute. Misspoke there. 32-19. But subscribe to the channel. Week 1's in the books. We've had videos after every primetime game. We will continue to do that as often as we can. Plus, our normal daily coverage. Put out an NFL Week 1 overreactions video earlier today. We also cover college football. Big storylines in both sports. Lots to come throughout this season. If you want to join the family, we're like 10 subs away from 2,400. Be a part of it. Hit that sub button. It's free. All right, let's talk about Aaron Rodgers' return, as this was his first game back since tearing his Achilles last season in Week 1. And the stat line will kind of say, not great, up and down. And I do think it was up and down, but I actually thought he played pretty decently. Had a patented free play touchdown pass where he hard counted, got the 49ers to jump off sides, and threw a beautiful deep ball and just a go to Allen Lazard, his old pal from his Green Bay days, for about a 35, 40-yard touchdown. It was vintage. It looked nice, spinning the ball well, and that's one thing that did stand out. When he was able to step into throws, the arm looks the same to me. He can still whip it. He can still spin the football. The difference, I think, and he didn't try to do it much, but a couple of times he did try to evade the pocket, he's definitely lost a half step. I mean, he's a 40-year-old quarterback coming off an Achilles. I don't think he's going to be able to move like he used to. Now, his last full year in Green Bay, he wasn't as mobile either. So I don't know if it's just like he's got no mobility left because of the Achilles. I think that's part of it. But I think some of it is just, he's 40 now. Like, he's not going to move like he used to. Now, as the season goes on and he gains confidence in the foot, could he have the occasional timely scramble or keep a play alive and throw on the run? Yeah, I think that's possible. I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility that Aaron Rodgers could show that at some point, but he's going to have to make his money in the pocket. He's going to have to drop back, sit in there, and deliver the football. Now, he's going to need to be able to move within the pocket, and I think he did that fine tonight for the most part, but for all this money the Jets invested in their offensive line, Tyron Smith, Morgan Moses, it wasn't a great night up front. Now, the 49ers front is tough. They've got good players there. Hargrave, Bosa had a big night. Obviously, a couple of other guys in there as well. Leonard Floyd, who was part of the play that tore Rodgers' Achilles last year when he was with the Bills. He's now with the 49ers. He was actually the guy that Rodgers got to jump off sides because, so that was kind of, I don't know, poetic justice perhaps. Obviously, it wasn't Leonard Floyd's fault. What happened last year was a total fluke. But, yeah, I think he kind of got an up and down performance. But I saw enough where my takeaway from tonight is not, oh, God, the Jets have an Aaron Rodgers problem. My takeaway is the O-line wasn't great, and where the hell was this vaunted defense? I mean, last year, their defense was keeping them in every game despite having to trot Zach Wilson and Tim Boyle out there. And Jordan Mason, who the average football fan has never heard of, runs for $150 with Christian McCaffrey out. 28 carries, 147 yards and a touchdown. Had another touchdown erased due to a questionable holding call. He was fantastic. But on a lot of these, he's not even getting touched until he's 5-10 yards downfield. I mean, the Jets got run over by the 49ers offensive line and running game. If you're a 49ers fan, you got to be pretty pleased with how the big guys played up front. Trent Williams, off the couch, a week of practice, ready to go. I mean, the guy's just a terrific player. But I thought the rest of the offensive line was pretty good. Colton McKivitz got beat once pretty badly by Quentin Williams, excuse me. I thought he held up fine otherwise. I thought Puny, the guy they found in the 4th round out of Kansas, was pretty good. If the other 4 guys outside of Williams are just average to above average and he's still an all-pro, they're going to be able to run the football. We know that. Shanahan's going to scheme it up, and that's going to work. And then Brock Purdy's going to be his efficient self. I think he was 19 of 29 tonight for 231 yards, but Jordan Mason was the star. They didn't need McCaffrey tonight. If I'm the 49ers, I'm holding out McCaffrey again next week. That's a guy you want to be 100% before you put him back out there. So for them to dominate this game like they did without Christian McCaffrey, with Trent Williams just getting back, with Brandon Aiyuk, quite frankly, not looking that good, dropped 2 passes, including a beautiful throw from Purdy in the corner of the end zone that he should have caught. Look, they won, they dominated, so it's not a big deal. But imagine if that game was tight late and that drop was a big reason why the game wasn't out of reach. Like, you held out all offseason, you skipped all of camp, you got your money, you got to make those plays now. Like, he kind of looked a little out of shape to me. I don't know, man. He's going to have to play better. It's 1 week. It's not a big deal. They won. It's not, if they're 5-0 in a few weeks and he's balling out, no one's going to care. But he's lucky that tonight's game was never really in doubt because he did not have a good game. But the Niners look ready to roll. I mean, they're not at full strength. They just kicked the Jets' ass. I'm not that high on the Jets this year, but I did not expect their defense to get run over like that. So for the Niners to do that tonight, that was pretty impressive. Now, speaking of the Jets getting run over, did Haason Reddick gain some leverage tonight? And Reddick, who's a pretty decent run stopper, also rushes the passer well, like Brandon Aiyuk, has held out of all of training camp. Aiyuk, I guess, technically was a hold in. He was in the facility, but nonetheless, hasn't been around, hasn't been practicing. Do the Jets look at this defensive performance and be like, maybe we should pay that guy we traded a 3rd-round pick for, who we knew wanted a new contract when we traded for him? I don't know what Reddick's asking for. Maybe it's a ridiculous number. But I'll say it. I've said it before and I'll say it again. You knew the situation when you traded for him. You better figure something out here, because if the defense keeps playing like that, even if Rodgers plays better, and I think he'll get better as the season goes on, you don't want your 40-year-old quarterback to get stuck in these shootouts week in and week out. Like, the whole point of getting Rodgers last year was because you had a high-level playoff defense already. Well, it wasn't that tonight. It was not a playoff performance from the defense. Like, the Jets' formula is hold your opponent to around 20 points, let Aaron Rodgers make enough plays to win. That's how they become a playoff team this year. This is not Rodgers go score 35 for us. He might do that a few times, but you need the defense to be the strength of your football team. And tonight, that was not the case. So I do just wonder if Haason Reddick got a little leverage tonight. Maybe he did, maybe he didn't. But if I'm Robert Saleh, I'm meeting with Joe Douglas, the GM, and I'm saying, hey, man, we gotta figure something out. We got to figure something out quick. So there you have it. Jets lose 32-19 on Monday Night Football. And by the way, before I get out of here, just a little sidebar. Subscribe if you haven't already. We would appreciate it. Tyrod Taylor, who, again, it's garbage time. Doesn't matter. 49ers are playing soft coverage. I just had this random thought, and this doesn't pertain to the game tonight or big picture for the Jets or 49ers. So, bear with me here or don't. Doesn't it kind of feel like he's one of those guys who kind of may have gotten screwed throughout his career out of more starting opportunities? I'm not sitting here saying he would have ever been a top 10 or even 15 quarterback in the NFL for an extended stretch, but I feel like every time he plays pretty well. I mean, he drives them straight down the field in like 90 seconds and they score a touchdown. Again, it's garbage time. It doesn't really matter. But I think the average Giants fan last year would say he was easily their best quarterback last year between him, Daniel Jones, and Tommy DeVito. He got the Bills to a playoff game for the first time in like 20 years. The Chargers' doctor punctures his lung in pregame and he can't play the game. I mean, again, like, I would gander to say, I think this is his 13th year in the league. I bet for at least 10 of those 13 years, he was a top 32 quarterback. And there's a chance right now he's one of those. You're telling me Deshaun Watson and Daniel Jones are better than Tyrod Taylor? I don't. It makes me wonder. I feel like he's a guy that may have gotten robbed out of being a starter for longer. But just kind of wanted to get that out there because I enjoy watching him play. Crafty runner, can throw on the move, good deep ball. perfect backup for Aaron Rodgers. If he goes down, I think he can be competitive with Tyrod Taylor. But again, it's going to have to be the defense. So subscribe for more coverage. Give us a follow on our Instagram page at 4VertsIG. We'll be with you guys all season long. Week 1 in the books. Week 2 coming soon. See ya.